Today, we're going to be talking about another exciting project called yam farming. Good morning, everybody. Now, before I get into that, warning, warning, warning. This is not a good investment. It should be considered an experiment. It is a high-risk community experiment. So please do not take this as financial advice and only put in money that you are totally happy to lose 100% off. That being said, let's start looking at yam farming. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to try and explain the concept of this project, of this experiment, if you call it that, what it is about, and then we're going to actually have a quick look at how to do it and how to actually stake your coins so that you can benefit from this yam farming. Now, of course, anything that is high risk like that has a flip side, which is the potential of high reward. Insane gains once again coming to light in the DeFi space. So let's dive right in and have a look at it. First thing I want to talk about with this YAM token. It's a new token. It only came out yesterday. So you are hearing about it in the very, very early stages on this channel. And as we know, with these DeFi protocols and these projects that come out, if you are an early adopter, you have a great opportunity to make massive, insane gains. Once again, high risk, high reward. Now, the YAM token has what we call an elastic supply. So just take a second to get your head around it. It's not like Bitcoin, for example, that has a supply of 21 million. No. YAM has a goal to keep their tokens at a price of $1. As we can see here, price target $1. Now, we can see that the current price is $12.36. So every 12 hours, they have something called a rebase. And what rebase is, they flood the market and they issue additional tokens to token holders. So you might have at this stage one token, but in 12 hours, and in fact, the next rebase is taking place in 1 hour, 43 minutes, your one token will become 10. And that will drive the price down. Obviously, because the scarcity of the token is less, there's more tokens in the market, so the value will go down because people will be encouraged to sell it. So it's a very fascinating concept, and it's something new that we're starting to see in the DeFi space. The first coin, to my knowledge, that came out with this was Ampleforth. So just to go over that again, if the price climbs up, like now, it is higher than the target price. It's at $12. It's going up too much. So they're going to issue more tokens to every single token holder to bring the price down. What's also interesting and is very fair about this process is that whatever tokens you own, so you've bought X amount of tokens, which has entitled you to a percentage of the network. Once that rebase happens and additional tokens are issued, you still maintain the same percentage of the network that you had. So even though you've got more tokens or less tokens, it doesn't matter because your percentage of the tokens remains the same, which is a very fair way of doing things. And it is a fascinating approach at controlling the price. So every 12 hours, you will probably at this stage, because it's early, get more tokens. Now, already the creators of this project have come out and have warned everyone, saying that the smart contracts are unaudited and they have taken reasonable care to ensure that everything is done properly, but they haven't had an opportunity, or they haven't taken the time to get the contracts professionally audited. They've been open, they've been transparent about this and highlighted the risk to us as a community, saying, guys, these contracts are unaudited, please go with caution. This is an experiment. Yes, there is the potential of making high profits and high rewards, but there is also huge risk. So kudos to them for admitting that the contracts are unaudited. The other thing that we need to consider when we invest in YAM is that there are already, in day one, things going wrong. First thing that we had that went wrong was someone on Twitter saying, guys, I have found an exploit in the smart contract. Would the management or the creators of the contract contact me urgently? They did, and there was a debate about the smart contract and about this so-called vulnerability. It was then debated and decided that the vulnerability was in fact not really a vulnerability, false alarm if you want to call it that, and they just continued with the project. But that type of thing does lead you to understand that this is new, this is cutting edge technology. The second thing that went wrong is on the first rebase, which happened yesterday. That's how new this is. Too many of the tokens were given to the treasury. Okay, let's take a step back and try and understand what the treasury is. When the token rebases, in other words, when the elastic supply expands and more tokens are issued to bring the price down, 90% of those tokens are given to token holders in the community. So if you hold tokens in your wallet, you will simply get those additional tokens. 10% are kept for the treasury, and those 10% are used to buy Y-curve tokens. The idea behind this is long-term that the treasury will build up a war chest of funds, and then if the price should drop below $1, they will be able to use those funds to buy up the tokens on the open market, thereby bringing the price back up to the required price of $1. So, just to go over this again and understand what the treasury is. The treasury is going to be governed by the community with the governance token, which are the YAM tokens. So very, very exciting, very cool way of actually running a project and trying to decentralize a project. That's why it is being called an experiment. So because the smart contract ran the rebase, the first rebase, and too much of the rebase was given to the treasury. In fact, it was 500,000 US dollars was given to the treasury. We needed to get to the point where we had enough votes so that we could form a quorum, and the quorum would be valid to change this error in the smart contract. And the amount that was needed was 160,000 of the votes of the coins before the rebase. So obviously we needed people to delegate their coins to people. In other words, similar to signing a proxy, so that those people could vote on the fix. If that fix didn't happen, there was the potential that the treasury would become ungovernable and the entire project would lose value, and we would not be able to govern or control the treasury of the YAM project. So a plea was made to the community via Twitter to say, let's save the YAM project. We needed to act within a 12-hour period. We needed the 160. As you can see, the community responded and gave the proxies, allowing the 160 which would form the quorum. So the project has essentially been saved. You can see their little slogan here. It's a great day to save YAM. Yesterday it said it's a great day to farm YAM. So the first thing that went wrong, of course, we had the false alarm of a smart contract exploit. The second thing is we had a proper problem with the smart contract in as much as it gave too much of the rebase to the treasury. Once again, new project, errors, teething problems. The community stepped in with governance, allowing people to take the proxy and save the YAM project. Okay, let's move on to farming. Before we move on to the farming, so I just want to go over this. So yesterday, the YAM tokens were around about $100. They actually went as high as 160 US dollars. But when the rebase came, you got about 10 times the amount of coins you had, and the price dropped from around about 100, I'm just rounding off here, down to 9 or 10 US dollars. So although the price dropped by about 80 or 90%, it didn't really affect your holdings. As you can see here on CoinGecko, it says the price dropped by 74%. It didn't affect your holdings. In fact, you gained because you got additional coins. Once again, the impact of that elastic supply. So once the community had responded, it had been saved, everything was fine, we all had additional coins, and let's look at the farming, as I say. Now, the first way you gain is by the additional coins. The second way that you gain is by farming the yams, or becoming a yam farming. I love these DeFi terms and the way that they say this. So you can farm, or you can stake a number of coins. We've got Maker, we've got Synthetics, we've got Lend, we've got Link, we've got Compound Token, Wi-Fi Coin, Wrapped Ether. These tokens here are liquidity pool tokens from Uniswap. And so that's a little bit more complex. I'm just going to gloss over that for now. But just to give you an example, I have staked 4 compound tokens. So if we have a look at my comp farm, we will see that, and it should refresh and actually show that I've staked the 4. Let's just go back a second here. There we go. You can see I've staked the 4 compound tokens, and in less than 24 hours, I've earned 12.4 yams. So let's take a second to understand the yields that I've earned. 12, and it's currently at $12. So that's 144 US dollars that have been earned by staking 4 comp tokens for around about 22 hours. That is insane profit, insane gains, going back to the high risk, high reward. So you can stake any number of these tokens, and you can stake any amount. If we had to look at, for example, Synthetics, you would just approve Synthetics, your MetaMask would pop up, you would say yes, you would choose how much you want to stake, you would stake it there, and almost immediately you would start to see the yams that you've earned. What I really like about this project is that the coins that you have put in do not change in value. So for example, the 4 coins that I've invested, theoretically, if there's no exploits of the smart contract, if everything goes according to plans, I will always be able to take my 4 compound tokens out. These tokens I've simply earned, so I've got them for free. But my capital is safe, and I would be able to get it out, theoretically. With these high risk projects, you don't know that that can be the case. It's not a guarantee, but it's more than likely. So you keep your capital, and you just simply earn these tokens. You can harvest them, and they will go into your MetaMask wallet. Now, right now, one of the things that we are really suffering with in the DeFi space is the insane Ethereum fees. So just to stake or to harvest, you're paying sometimes $20 US in fees. The reason that the Ethereum fees are so high, a lot of people are complaining about it, and it is indicative to the fact that Ethereum is so successful and that DeFi is blowing up. Ethereum cannot scale, and it cannot handle the amount of transactions that the network is expecting it to. With this in mind, obviously the miners are only mining the transactions where the fees are the highest. So a miner can only put X amount of transactions into a block. So it makes sense that if he is going to be competing for that block, they take the transactions with the highest fees, which causes you and me, people in the community, to constantly compete because we want our transactions to go through first by making higher and higher fees. So in the short term, I don't think we are going to see any relief in the Ethereum fees unless less people start using the network, which is unlikely. We're going to have to live with the fees till the launch, or till Ethereum 2.0 comes out and actually resolves the Ethereum staking problem. Guys, that is it with the yam farming. It is an absolutely fascinating and exciting social experiment with governance from the community to guide this project with rebase and elastic supply of tokens that is issued and contracted to try and control the price of the token and keep it stable at $1. It's absolutely fascinating stuff. I am involved with a very small amount of coins. I do not want to invest too much money in this because I am really wanting to be an observer to see how it goes. But I did want to put it out there on everyone's radar so that you guys can have a look. And if you have the stomach for this, maybe invest a little bit. Unfortunately, you can't just invest a couple of rands because the fees with the Ethereum network, the way it currently is, are going to demand that you invest a substantial amount if you are planning to even make your fees back. Good thing to have on your radar. It is the new hot happening DeFi project. Guys, I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the thumbs up. If you don't, hit the thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel or don't. I don't really care. That's it from me. I'm out.